You are an experienced guitar player, but you've never recorded your guitar before, then this tutorial is the right thing for you. Hey guys, welcome to this guitar recording tutorial for beginners. In this video we'll dive into the basics of recording, so you will learn a simple but effective and even affordable way to record your first guitar take step by step. This is what we will talk about within the next couple of minutes. Setup: everything you need to prepare your recording. Interface: I'll show you how to handle this little box called Maya 22 USB. DAW, a digital audio workstation, which is a software you need to record, edit and mix your tracks with. An amp simulation. That's the fun part, because at this point you can create your own individual guitar sound. So let's start with the setup. This is what you need to prepare for your recording. You need your guitar, of course, and a guitar cable to connect it. You need your Mac or PC, whatever you use. And on this Mac or PC, you need to install a software called Digital Audio Workstation, a DAW. You can use any DAW you are familiar with, but in this example we will show you how to record with Bitwig Studio 8-Track. Why? Because it is bundled with a lot of ESI audio interfaces, so it comes to most of you for free. Speaking of interfaces, this is where Maya 22 USB comes into play. This little box here helps you to transfer the sound of your guitar into your computer and also converts your analog guitar signal into digital and back to analog again, so that you can hear what you recorded. You need studio headphones or studio monitors to hear what you're recording. And to create an individual guitar sound, it's a good idea to use a plugin. We'll show you how to use Amp Line Free, since it comes with the Maya 22 USB and with many other ESI audio interfaces for free. That's it. Before you connect any cables, you need to download and install the driver and control panel of your interface. Those can be found on our homepage. Simply go to esi-audio.com and then to support and then download. As a Windows user, you should download the driver and control panel. As a Mac user, you only need the control panel. I'll explain why you need that in a few seconds. But first, let's connect the cables. You might wonder what an interface actually does. Here is the explanation. An interface is needed to transfer the sound of your guitar into your computer or Mac. If you're about to make your first recording and are looking around for an interface to buy, you'll find that the market has a lot to offer. There are huge interfaces to record your whole band with, or extremely portable interfaces you can take with you anywhere you want. In this video, we'll show you how to record with Maya 22 USB, since this is one of our best sellers. It is very affordable and you can not only record your guitar or bass, but also your vocals. So it's the perfect device for singer-songwriters as well. The most important feature for you as a guitar player is the Hi-Z input. This is where you plug your guitar in directly without using an additional DI box. This type of input is very useful because you can use it to record a clean electric guitar signal. You can later either send it through a mic guitar amp via a reamping box or process it with an amp simulation. You might wonder why you need to use the Hi-Z input and not the line-in. Some interfaces have both inputs, Hi-Z and line-in, or only line-in like this device here. But please, never ever use the line input for guitar recordings. Even though they might look very similar, there is a technical difference between them. For optimal sound results, instrument inputs should have an input impedance of at least 400 kiloohms. A common value is 1 megaohm, which is 1000 kiloohms. This is the input impedance of a typical guitar or bass amplifier, which is exactly what guitar or bass pickups are designed for. For comparison, line inputs work with a much lower input impedance, often about 10 kilo ohms. So if you plug a guitar or bass into an input with such a low impedance, the instrument will sound floppy, without definition and brilliance. So better use the line input to plug in a synthesizer, for example. Okay, so let's have a closer look at the Maya 22 USB. As you can see, there are no knobs or buttons to control the gain or select one of the inputs. All of this is done in the software with the help of a control panel. The control panel is also useful for Windows users to get access to the direct wire feature and much more. So I'm sure you don't want to miss it. This is why you have to download the control panel on our homepage, as I said before. Okay, so let's have a look at what you can do with the control panel. Open it by clicking on this tiny icon in your taskbar. This input section on the left controls the input volume of the incoming signal from the hardware. Since we plugged in our guitar to the HiZ input, we press this button here. Clicking on the empty space between the two faders allows you to select both of them, and then you can just move your mouse up and down. Same applies for the output section. This is where you can control the signal that is being played out on your headphones. To record a signal from your guitar and create your first song, you need a digital audio workstation, a DAW. There are some free recording softwares on the market to begin with, for example, Audacity. But the real fun starts with a software like Bitwig, where you can not only record, but edit, mix and master, create loops, work with presets and so on in a really professional way. Using Bitwig for the first time might seem a little bit complicated, but no worries, we'll get through this step by step. Here's how to start. Open an empty session in Bitwig. Create a new audio track or use the one that is already there. Although you want to record an instrument, you need to select an audio track here. Instrument tracks are mainly for MIDI inputs like keyboards or synthesizers. If you use Bitwig with Maya 22 USB for the first time, you need to set everything up. Click on the audio track, and on the menu that appears on the lower left, go to Audio Inputs and then select Add Buses. The Settings dialog opens in the Audio section. Here you select ASIO as driver model if you are using Windows. As a Mac user, you need to select Core Audio instead. Select Maya 20 USB as device. Bitwig now knows that you are using the Maya 22 USB for recording. However, it may not yet know where exactly you plugged in your guitar. It could be input 1 or input 2 or anything else. In our case, number 1 would be our microphone input on the front of the interface. But since we plugged in our guitar to the HiZ input, we use number 2. And that's what we tell our program now. Under Input Buses, the button Add Mono allows you to add a mono track. Click on the circle under the 2 to define where the signal comes from. And now I'd recommend to rename the entry Mono In, for instance, into Guitar. It can be helpful to use such labels, especially if you end up recording different sources and if you want to be able to distinguish them more easily. Now close the dialog and your settings will be saved. You can see in the menu, in the lower left, that you can select the guitar input that you've just created. Click on it, and once you play your guitar, you can instantly see the input signal levels. Now we need to adjust the gain, so your take will be recorded loud enough, but not too loud, to avoid hard clippings. Otherwise, your take would sound very nasty, and that could not be reversed later. Now play the loudest part of your song, or at least hit the strings really hard. If the input deflection moves to the red range, the signal is too loud. In this case, you need to decrease the gain so that no more digital clipping can be heard and you're back in the green area again. Experienced producers would even turn down the gain a bit more and give the recording more headroom. That makes sense because almost all artists tend to hit the strings harder during the actual recording than before when leveling the guitar. Okay, now you could record your guitar like this already. It's a clean signal that can be altered in many different ways afterwards. But if you want to record, let's say, a metal track or a blues song, you might want to add an individual sound to your guitar first to get the perfect feeling when playing the song. And this is what we're up to now. So let's talk about the amp simulation. Maya 22 USB comes with a free download code for AmpLion, a virtual guitar amp simulation by Audified. Just download the software following the instructions on this leaflet, which you'll find in the box. And hey, why not download the bass amp simulation as well? It's called GK Amplification 2 LE, and you could also download the multi-channel FX processor Intone 2 ESI edition. They are also available for free with this leaflet. Once you've downloaded AmpLion, you can open it as plugin right in your DAW. And here's how that works in Bitwig. Switch to the Show Device panel, click on the plus symbol, select Audio FX, Audifacts, and then AmpLion as plugin. The AmpLion window opens automatically. Now you can create your individual sound, so if you want your guitar to sound more distorted, you can turn up the gain to the highest point, get some more bass and treble, and turn out the mids. That's what it sounds like. But you can also simply use one of the presets. If you want your guitar to get a nice metal sound, for example, you can choose the Orange Extreme simulation. If we press the button, you can already see that the parameters and the microphones here change automatically. And now your guitar sounds like that. Sound good? Great. Now all you need to do is press the record button and then play to begin recording. And now I must admit, I'm not a good guitar player at all. So I'm very happy that we were able to get a professional to come in and play for us. And this is Daniel Melchior. Welcome to the ESI studio. That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more ESI tutorials. And if you wonder how to record your voice in Bitwig, make sure to check out our How to Voice Recording on a Budget video here on YouTube.